Hello, welcome to Just Tom Talk. Absolutely glorious day, start of April, and I'm here with the BMW Z4 3 litre SI SE, an absolute animal of a car, and it's an absolute pleasure to be stood with it. Thanks have to go to my friend Craig, who's lent me the vehicle for the day to go and have a drive around Derbyshire in, and I have to say I'm really impressed. But before we get on, let's talk a little bit about this car, what it would have cost you back in the day and what it's going to cost you today if you're going out there to buy something like this. Now, these came out in 2006, they only ran through till 2009. Now if you wanted to go and buy the 3 litre SI SE, you was going to be looking at 31,400 quid, which was a lot of money then, it's a lot of money now. If you want to go and pick one of these up today, you're still, for something in this sort of condition, you're still looking at £8,000 easy. This particular model is done 101,000 mile. It's in absolutely phenomenal condition. It's been really loved by its previous keepers. So without any further ado, let's go and have a whiz around it. Let's show you some of the toys that are on the outside, show you some of the toys that are on the inside, have a look under the hood and go and see what this Z4 3 litre is all about. Okay then, starting at the front, seems commonplace to do it. You can see it's got quite a soft look, I think, to this. It's got the soft grills. These were commonplace on BMW at the time with the particular look it's got. It's got quite a low splitter on it with the front fog lights. They're quite well recessed under there. What is odd about them is they're long oblongs and not circles, which most fog lights are on cars. It's very distinctive on the front. Nice headlights and the bulbs, I'm told the headlights work okay at night. Never forgetting, this is a 2006 car. For all its looks, it's 15 years old, so it's getting on a bit now, and it's got a few wounds on it. The badge could probably do with a change, but it's in really good condition. Okay then, briefly then, here's under the bonnet. It's a car, some people aren't bothered. Me being a petrol head, I like to look under there. You see it's got the strut braces that are built in to both of the suspension arms there, giving it that rigidity, along with the roof there, which you already know about. But that all adds to stability and handling when this car's out on the road with that huge 3 litre 6-cylinder engine, making the said 261 brake horsepower just through them rear wheels. My God, it makes an absolute roar, and you'll see that in a moment. But my God, it's an absolute beauty. That's a real nice example of the Z4 3 litre engine, I think. Lovely. Okay, on the front of the vehicle then, it's running 225 40/18s, and within these split rims it's got absolutely huge discs and some calipers that look like they can really do a job. And to be fair, with the amount of power that's put down on this vehicle, they need to be really good, because this vehicle doesn't half move. What you can also see here is a reflector that's built into the side there. It doesn't look like it's an optical light. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but from where I'm stood, it just looks like it's a reflector. But again, it's in fitting with the rest of the body. Really nice. Them wheels are beautiful. Okay, I'm not sure how well the camera is going to pick this up now, given the light. The sun's directly behind the camera, but what I want to talk about is these lines. They make this car absolutely stand out from the crowd, and in my eyes it makes it an absolute beauty of a car. Look how it runs here from this bonnet. It flattens off, squared edge down to 0, and further back it then starts rising up again here, so we've pretty much got it level again. That level of detail in this car is absolutely astonishing. The detail, we've got the indicators that are built in on the side here and recessed down. We've got the little bit of details again here with the bodywork. This car, honestly, it stands out for the crowd for all the right reasons. But look at these flared arches on the back there. You can see the flared arches that are encompassing that 18-inch alloy wheel. Absolutely beautiful, and a nice short roof. It's what a roadster's all about, isn't it? Okay then, so at the back of the car, look at these features, and lovely edge, pretty much the same theme that's cracking off at the front there. Nice, solid, pretty much nice and level. put your can of pop on there, your mineral water if you're so inclined, and then with that arch you've got your 18-inch alloy wheel under there, 255, 35, 18 on a split rim. Again, nice big brakes on the back of their discs, calipers that do a job. But this is what gives the car its road presence and handling, is these great big tyres on the back. Being rear wheel drive with these really good rubber tyres on the back of these, I mean this has got fantastic tyres on it anyway. They give the car some real grip when you're giving it some. Not that I've really had a chance, but this car would be phenomenal around a track. Anyway, let's have a look in the boot. Okay, so the boot then, it's got a nice simple design, and oddly should be relatively easy to fill up with the big shop, which I can't imagine the Z3 has a similar sort of boot, but that's an assumption on my behalf, because I've never known anybody with the Z4 to be able to go and have a look. But I think that's actually got a really useful space. However, look at the view. Now, that's your rear view mirror. Again, it's a roadster, you expect it, but don't anticipate seeing much. You've always got to be in your wing mirrors when you're driving this car, but to be fair, you expect it, don't you? Let's be honest. But when you walk back, look at the size of that rear door. It's massive, absolutely huge. I'm pretty sure it's as big as the bonnet being lifted. Okay then, looking to the interior, as you can see, it's quite basic. This one's got half leather on it, which makes it really comfy. What you can see there is the door pockets. Now, to say you'd be struggling to get a packet of Rolos in there is an understatement. I don't think I've ever known door pockets be so shallow, but anyway, they're there. Leather coated on the side there, speaker in the door, tweeter just to the top there, and it's got a fantastic sound system in it. I mean, this is the basic sound system, but it's really, really good. It's got the speakers on the side there, it's got speakers behind you, and yeah, it's really, really impressive. I love it. If anybody's got this burning desire to know what's in the back, this is it. Not much, is there? It's not much to see. Literally not much to see. But in the back, we've got this little bin, and I'm hoping the camera works better than it did a moment ago. If by any chance there's any of you old guys and girls out there with a CD collection, you're going to be laughing here, because there's some space in here. You've got space for your ballpoint pen, and I assume your sunglasses could go in there, but they'd soon get whizzed out. A couple of coins can go into here. Nice short handbrake with a recess, your four-way button, car lock, and then your gear stick. This is the manual model, again with a little bit of space here at the front. What you have got at the front here, which you can just make out, is your traction control button. So it does mean if you want to go out and have a play, you can press that, turns all the gadgetry and the stuff that's trying to keep you alive off, and yeah, go and slide, because this car will not struggle to do donuts or to do burnouts if you put the pressure down. While I'm here, I'll briefly speak about this gearbox. Now, me personally, I think it's quite stiff, and apparently that's the norm with all of these models, but it is really short, so you do have the movement of the wrist to be able to go through the gearbox. Reverse is all the way across and you knock it back, but as you can see there, it is a literal drive with your wrist. Fantastic. It really does start to pull at 4,500 revs, and it goes all the way up to that red line, of which it's saying on this dash it's 7,000 revs. Somebody again might be able to tell me different, but from what I can see, it's 7,000 revs, and it goes all the way up to there, no bother at all. You've got a few controls on the side here for doing your lights, just left in auto mode. Your dash display, your front fog lights, your rear fog lights, and you know what, that's it. Pretty basic, isn't it? But you know what, it's a roadster. Okay, now I can't get out of the front seat of this car without talking about this little bit of magic, the sport button. Now, some cars have a sport button and the dash changes colour, the engine makes a different noise. You press the sport button on this little gem, and to say it makes a difference is an absolute understatement. So while I'm here, let's talk about that sport button. What does it do? It brings out a whole load of crazy from this car because it's not fast enough already. Press that, feels like it's anchoring down on the ground, feels like the suspension's going solid, feels like the steering stiffens up, and that accelerator becomes even more potent. As soon as you touch it, boom, boom, it's going, and it absolutely changes this car, changes it from an animal to an absolute psychopath. And to be fair, to drive around in it in sports mode at all time, it's too much. You can't balance the throttle control, and it is really jittery if you've got a passenger in the side. Yeah, you could argue they'll have to put up with it because you're in a cool car, but should they? Just turn that sport mode off. Makes a completely different car, makes it usable in town. So what do I think to driving the Z4? It's absolutely brilliant. Do you know what? I started doing this review last week. I came down here to the same location I always come to, started speaking about it, and the weather was crap, so I weren't really in the mood for it. So I says to Craig, come on, let's take it back. Let's do it again next week when the weather's better. That's the best decision I made, because I got back in this car and I was wholly disappointed with it, if I'm honest with you. And then I drove it back on some of the back roads in Derbyshire, and all of a sudden its character came to life. It was engaging, it was adrenaline fueling, it was all I expected of a roadster and a whole lot more, from having so much grip, it would appear, in this car. Now, some of the reviews out there say that it feels flighty. Me personally, I didn't feel like it was. I felt like it was planted. So because it's got really good tyres on it, it probably helped with that. But the bonnet and the whole car itself, looking forward, it feels like you're in something special. You've got your windows down, you can hear the engine. Without the windows down, you can hear the engine, in fairness. And it absolutely roars. And that's the sort of stuff that me as a biker enjoys. The engagement of having the engine telling you that it's alive and that you're driving something a little bit different. And it is a little bit different. There's Z4s out there, of course there's Z3s and 4s, they're 10 a penny, but there's not many coupes out there. You sit in the seats, they're well supported, they've got nice bolsters on them, so you're sat in it, you're nice and low, so the position as you're looking down the road, the whole car feels engaging. You look behind you, it's short and squat, so you know you're in something that's a little bit different to the norm. And then back wheels, as it's driving you forward, you can feel it biting. Turn that traction control off, and I'm not joking when I say this car would spin all day, but you keep the traction control on, and on the roads you can really push it hard. You push it hard, you let the technology work for you, and it turns a good driver into an absolute phenomenal driver. That's not me, I'm just saying, if you're a good driver, it can make you look phenomenal. It really can complement the drivers out there, and it does it with ease. It's absolutely brilliant. Running costs for this sort of car, I've got to talk about it because people are going to ask. About 28 miles per gallon, if you're kind to it. I've drove down here, I reset counter. I travelled 5 or 6 miles to this location to do the recording. It says 33 miles per gallon. I didn't give it any welly at all. Now, when I did give it a little bit of a welly, it come through at 27.9, and I would imagine it will easily do a lot less than that as well. Runs on unleaded, super unleaded, so it's a weekend car, isn't it? Or it's a second car. It's never going to be your primary drive unless you've got a few quid and you're a young lad, girl, and you want this as your first car. Then reality, it's too much. It's too much as a first car. Go and get a Citroen C1. Go and get an Igo. This is not a first car. You will end up in a hedge. Worst case scenario, you'll end up in A&E, because this is an absolute animal of a motor. Just to clear up, if it's not already abundantly clear, I absolutely love this vehicle. This may well be in the middle of the review, however, I've just driven it back to my friend's house. The sun's shining, the roads are lovely and dry, and it's so good. It sounds so amazing, it drives so well. I'm absolutely in love. I didn't know I needed a BMW Z4 3 litre, apparently I do. So that's it for Just On Talk. I think it's fair to say I'm pretty much taken with the Z4. I'm still working my way into Craig's heart so he can donate it to me, because I would absolutely love to own something as good as this car is. It's an absolute pleasure to drive, it's a pleasure to be stood next door to, and it's a pleasure to walk around and review. Sounds like a roadster, goes like a roadster, looks like a roadster. it's a proper roadster, isn't it? BMW have hit this nail straight on the head. It's pucker, it's absolutely beautiful, it's lovely to drive, it's a pleasure to be around, it's nice to be in something that's a little bit different to the norm, and overall I'm absolutely smitten with it. I really wish I could afford one, if I'm honest with you. 2.5 litre one, what would that be like? I'd envisage it's still very, very good, and if you've not driven the 3 litre, you don't know what you're missing, just like I've not driven the M Sport, so I don't know what I'm missing. But I do know for the one that I'm driving today, I absolutely love it. When you're sat in the cockpit, it feels like you're in something special, and it certainly sounds like it. I'd just like to say thank you very much for all those that have recently subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate your support. In time, this channel will grow, it will get better. The technology's coming on now. I've bought myself a gimbal, so the quality of the video should get better. I'm soon to be receiving my microphones, so the sound quality will get better. And in time, I'll treat myself to a new phone, which means the quality of the video should get better as well. But thank you very much. Thank you for all the kind comments that you guys put onto YouTube. It's fantastic in being part of the community, and I only do this because I know, one, I really like it, and two, I know I've got such a good community out there that support me, so thank you so much. I don't need to tell people to subscribe because everybody else is telling people to subscribe. There's a bell thing that you can do that tells you when I put some more video out. If you want to tick that, that's great. Please give me a like if you like what I'm doing. If you've got any suggestions how to make things better, feel free. I'm no expert. Everybody starts somewhere, and you guys that are supporting me so far are getting to see me in all the nastiness and all the grottiness that comes with it. But hopefully one day we will get better, and the quality of these videos will become far, far better. So thank you so much for your support. All that's left to say is wait for my next video. There's a few in the pipeline. I'd like to do a few more with motorbikes actually, but I seem to keep doing cars. It's no bad thing when they're cool like this. Take care. This is one badass car. Honestly, it's amazing.